Hi. uh, so my name is Peter, and I'm recording this from Prospect Park, Terminal Moraine, here in Brooklyn, New York. Today is Saturday. Yeah, today is Saturday, 28th of October, 2023. Okay, so I'm gonna do quick. I'm gonna do a quick video of, I mean, a little bit about the purpose of this video. So I'm gonna try to explain it as quickly as I can, but I don't think I'll be able to. I was thinking about doing it in 5 minutes, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it I'll be able to do it in 30 minutes. So yeah, and then all right. So let me start. I'll introduce myself. And then I'll talk a little bit more. Yes. Okay, so I'm in a park. It's nice and warm today. It was almost 80 degrees today, so there's a lot of people. So I don't know if it's gonna be audible. I mean, because I'm at distance, I don't have a mic that I can use. It would be really helpful right now, but so I'm just kind of doing with the internal mic. So hopefully it'll pick me up more than the background where people just having fun and shit. Okay, get back a little bit. Okay, so it's a pretty cool tree. Well, I mean, it's not alive anymore. It's pretty cool. I don't want to move the camera because it's the way I set up. It's barely balancing, so I might not be able to put it back. At the end, if I remember, I'll do like a spin. Okay, so my name is Peter. Well, before I go into about I'll explain about me a bit about me. Let me introduce what I'm doing with the video. So I'm doing, like, I was thinking about doing videos in the future, like explainer videos, right? Just playing them all over the web. So, but I was just thinking about doing it, so to kind of, just to do it. Maybe practice. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna get much practice because to practice speaking, I'll have to do it over and over again. If I do a video once, I'm just only doing it once. I'm not really practicing. So, if like teaching, when a teacher is in a classroom, you constantly perfect the words, the choice of words you're using to make things more explainable. So, but making one video, so I can call it what's it called, practicing. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm just gonna do it for whatever. Just gonna do it. I don't really use social media as much. Occasionally, I might post something. So I might use these videos, see if I can post it here or there from time to time. I'll talk about more motivations, difficulties, overcoming some of the hurdles that might help my motivation. I'll briefly talk about it. I'll try to talk about briefly. And then, yeah. Okay, so the explainer videos, it's going to be, for example, if I come across some information, whether I read something or just came across somewhere that I want to make a explainer in my own words, I'll do that. So I'll probably create like a playlist on my YouTube account. it's gonna be the YouTube account is my name, and also probably Twitter. Other social media, not sure. I mean, eventually maybe. I'm not sure. So yeah, and so I'll probably list it as like a playlist, into the playlist as how I understand it, maybe, or something like that. Because the things that, for example, if I read about something and that I want to share, explain my own words, I might interpret it internally incorrectly. So I would just want to give a heads up that don't take whatever the content I'm explaining video as 100% with 100% certainty, because I might have interpreted information wrong, or I might have the source of information might have been not legit. I don't know. So I'll do that. Okay, so I'll talk about. So let me introduce myself, and then I'll kind of continue. So my name is Peter West Popovchuk. That's not my given name. I modified it slightly when I used to live in Los Angeles. I'll explain later about that. So originally it's Pedro, like Pedro in Spanish, but instead of D, it's with a T. So it's Pedro. And it's right now it's Peter West Popovchuk. I did not have West middle name. I did that when I went to Los Angeles. There's a story behind it. I'll kind of go into it. I'll try to do it quickly. Pretty much the west part came because I was living on the west coast, so I kind of took that when I was doing my naturalization citizenship paperwork. The guy asked me if I could do it, so I was like sure. So the west came into mind. And Popovchuk, it's self-explanatory. It gets passed down through the families. I did modify the last name a bit. There was a mistake made coming here to US. Letter T was incorrectly placed, so I took it out and just kind of made it how I guess it's supposed to be. So my first name is Peter, right? I changed that from Pedro. The reason why I did that because it's Americanized version of the name. It's the same thing. Pedro, Peter is just different ways of different sound origins. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, right? So Pedro has a Ukrainian background. So I don't know how far it spreads throughout the region outside Ukraine. So I think it spreads to other areas. So it originated for me, it originated from over there. So when I came here in 1996, I changed it. Well, in my head, it kind of was already started changing to Americanized version. Once because there's two reasons. One is because Spider-Man, Peter Parker. So it's I used to come from junior high school and watch cartoons. They used to come on like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then and then another reason is that give an explanation for the name. So I do not mind explaining the origins for the name and everything that affiliated with me. The thing I do mind is that when I do explaining, every time somebody asks me, is that I'm not just explaining once. I'm explaining the same thing over and over again to a lot of people. So to people, it just happening once, but to me, it's just kind of like constantly non-stop. So eventually, you kind of like, so you just kind of decide, you know what, it's maybe just kind of like if there was like a way to like say it once and then everybody can just refer to that, so I don't have to give explanations every time. Because after a while, like if you do gazillion times, it just gets annoying explaining. With people, it just once, but to me, it's so by doing Americanized version, I kind of limit that explanation. Although I still have the accent, so it's so I still have to do occasionally explain this and that. So I try to avoid it. I try to avoid explanations because it's okay at first, but then years after years, it can be just yeah. So my middle name West, right? So after the New York, I went to California. So moving here from Ukraine in '96, I was 13 years old. I lived here until in New York. I lived in New York until 2004, February, and then in February I decided to go to Los Angeles, California. The reasons for me going to California, it's actually it's like a psychological process that goes back way before I was younger. So let me start. Normally, throughout most of my teens, before that, and even after that, even till now, I'm just kind of working on it, right? But especially like in teens and before that, into my 20s, I had difficulty in knowing how to say no. Like for example, if there was something I wasn't comfortable doing, or something I didn't really want to be part of, I had hard times saying no. I don't think anybody actually heard me say no really at that time. So, and I knew it was creating a problem because even like on the inside, it was getting real uncomfortable for me because I was becoming part of things that I wasn't comfortable with. So, and I give you an example of it's a tattoo that I got. My first tattoo that I got, I think I was 14, maybe 15ish, around there. I got a tattoo, and that actually, I think that was like a spark that, with addition to other things, one that I was not able to say no, it kind of motivated me, kind of like gave me that ability to, over time, to practice in saying no when I wasn't comfortable in doing something, right? So I got introduced to Tupac Shakur, to his music around the time when I came here, maybe like a few months after, within a year probably, around that. I bought his album. I bought a few albums. Well, one of his albums, All Eyes on Me, right? So, and then from then on, I got really into listening to his stuff. On his back, he had a cross. So the shape of the cross, the way it looked, I've really admired it. So I started drawing it, and I got pretty good at drawing it. Oh, I think I got pretty good at drawing it. So I would draw it, right? So I think I think it was 9th grade in high school, maybe 10th grade. I don't remember. I think it was 9th grade. I was around 14, 15. Me and a classmate, we found a tattoo parlor that agreed to make us tattoo for pretty cheap, $40. We didn't have money, so $40. It was pretty good. We were happy about it. Plus, they did not ask for permission from the parent. That was the most important. So. So we agreed to do that. So we didn't do it right away. It was probably a few days later. So before the time when we found the parlor, and mosquitoes. Before the time when we found the parlor and getting the actual tattoo done, there was a few days between, so they gave me time to perfect the cross, right? The one that Tupac had. So without the saying, he had something written on the inside. Don't exactly remember which verse from the scripture. I don't remember. Something Exodus, something like that. But anyways, my thing was that I wanted to get the shape of the cross. Plus, I was surrounded. My surrounding was mainly Christian, so I mean, I wouldn't have to do much explaining. Plus, I mean, I'll see if I explain a little bit more about that. So I just wanted the shape, right? Because I really liked it and I really perfected it. I like drawing it. So over the next few days, I perfected it. I make it better and better and better. And then so when we came to get a tattoo, the guy's like, okay, so we sit down, got ready and stuff. So I gave him the cross that I drew from Tupac's that Tupac has on his back. And so we sit down. So the guy's like, I have to redo it, and then so I can put it on a thing. I'm like, okay. So he redid it, and he changed it. So it doesn't quite. I mean, it kind of like if you look maybe from far away, it kind of looks maybe a little bit has the overall general shape is there, but the lines, how the lines are, just everything was just off. And I didn't want it, but I couldn't say it. So and fucking ate me. Like on the inside, I was like, fuck. I was like, no, I don't want to get it. I don't want to get it. But I did not know how to say no. So I was like, okay. And the guy did it, and yeah. So now, like, there's some tattoos that I have. That there's at least 2 tattoos that I'm thinking about covering. I probably could remove it, but I think covering is cheaper. And I think less painful too. So cross, however, I do not want to touch not because I associate it with the religion. I'm not, quite the opposite. But because it has that fundamental that having that inability to say no when I didn't want it, it has been eating at me all throughout my teen years into my 20s and so on. So in addition with other things, situations where I wasn't able to say no, right, and I was putting myself in situations. In addition with that, eventually kind of gave me that foundation to how to perfect myself, how to say, you know what, there's time when you say no, there's time when you say yes. So it's something that I've learned over the years, and I'm still practicing. I mean, I'm still not there where I want to be, but I think I'm pretty good where I am. So given that, yeah, so this is one of the reasons why I would want to keep the tattoo of the cross. I wouldn't want to touch it because it kind of represents that the struggle of not able to say no. Because that's what it was. So yeah, so the Christian part, probably yeah. So that's I probably kind of left that out probably before I reached my 20s. So I mean, as I was growing up, you would kind of like before my when I was younger, it's the religious views. I'm not, before I go on, it's just people need certain views. That's their thing. Whatever the views are, as long as they're not hurtful to self self-hurtful or to others. It's I really don't give a shit. But I have my views, so I'm gonna quickly explain how I got from there to there. So let me show you the. Let's go quick. There was. Did not go how I planned. So wrong hand. So if you can see, it's kind of like it, but the lines on the inside is closed off. This one's open. This one's open. This one's he closed it. The lines are straight, and it's supposed to be more bent, right? So it's way off, you know. So it's but yeah, it's that. So I'm gonna try not to shake the tree because it's I don't wanna trouble it. So okay, so let me continue. So what was it? This is the reason why I won't be able to do it in under 30 minutes, probably in 5 minutes. Forget about 5 minutes. It's already like in 20 something minutes. Okay. All right. Yeah. So where was I? Okay, so growing up through my teenage years and before that, the religious view. So I was surrounded by Christian held views throughout most of the people around me. So you kind of just take it. This is something when you hear it. This is something people say, and I guess this is something that's the way it is. So, and then later on, as you go on, you're like in my, especially when I came here, you start getting introduced to other religions with their own views, differences, some tiny differences, some less tinier. So as I was getting introduced, so you start kind of thinking about, wait, I was like, my views are what I have been introduced, these particular views, right? So, but if I was raised in a different environment with somebody else's view that someone else was raised, then those views would be different, right? So as I went on, but you know, it kind of sets in your mind without you even actually realizing it. So by the time I got before my 20s, probably somewhere between around 18, I just kind of left it. I was like, you know what? That's not something that's me. My influential circles, they don't really have to define me what I am, because that's really somebody else's views. So yeah, so I kind of just left it, along with definition of God, right? So I kind of took that and I put it with other definitions of what might be. How, for example, how people used to define God speculative, hundreds of thousands of years back, right? You had multiple gods, and each god was responsible for this, for that. So I kind of took that religious definition of God and I just kind of put it away. And then I didn't really have any any what's it called functional I got. I didn't really see it necessary to me, so it's yeah, so just kind of left it. I never really talked about it. You would never hear me talk about it unless if I was asked or pushed or sometimes annoyed, then I might have said something. Right, but normally I did not say anything because several reasons. One reason is that so the religious foundation, the views serves to people. It serves like this foundation, like a how can I say? I can't think of a word. Like a net, like a safety net, right? So when somebody is in some kind of situation, a difficult situation, they kind of have that to fall on. So the reasons why I now really mention it, because if I would say something, that could kind of take away that net, right? So if I was gonna do that, I would want to have something else placed instead of that safety net that people grew up with, right? People accustomed to. So, and placing that net can take a while. So that's why I now really mentioned it myself. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then yeah, I do however advise people to keep their minds open to different views, not just to stick to the views they have been exposed to throughout their early years and on into adulthood, right? Because there are many other views that you haven't heard of. So making your life based on just one thing without hearing all the gazillion other things that's out there, it's you're living unfulfilled, I think, even though it might appear to be fulfilled, but once you get exposed yourself to other views. But careful the views you're getting exposed to, because take caution when you approach each view, because it can take you for a ride. So you don't want it to be damaging in any way to self or to others. Sorry. So yeah, so that's that. Okay, so back to my my name, introduction to myself. So because of this inability of saying no, right, I was putting myself in situations that I was not comfortable with. So growing up here in New York in my teens, there was really some stuff that I was really uncomfortable with, that I really didn't want to be part of. But because I've been part of my social environment for so long, that it was either two things I could have done, right? Either to stop right there and then stop and what's it called, declining anything that I wasn't comfortable with, which would be real difficult because I never declined anything. So then I would have to go into explanations, and it would be real difficult for me to explain. And so another option was start over. So at that time, I had gone with one of my work colleagues to Miami for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, and I liked it. So the weather, it was warm, we had palm trees, the water, everything. So when I came back, I was like to myself, you know what, I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna start from the start, and then I'll be just careful take it. So there's a fall. Okay, so going to Florida for like a week or 2 weeks. I don't remember. I think it was something like that. Not more than 2 weeks. I liked it. I enjoyed it. So, and it was at that time when I was already kind of thinking about that I should move away from everybody and just kind of start off new, and then kind of be careful how I kind of develop myself, and then later on, once I'm kind of like have that stability where I'm comfortable saying no, or the client thinks I'm not comfortable with, right? When I have that comfort, I can pretty much go here, go there. I mean, it wouldn't really matter. So, Florida, because I just came from there, so it was perfect timing, right? So I was like, you know what? It was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go there. So I did offer people to come with me, although like in my mind I was like, please don't say no. I mean, please say yes. I mean, what? I offer people to come with me, and in my mind I was like, please don't say yes. So yeah, so gratefully, no one wanted to go with me. So yeah, so I kind of set my mind on that. So my sister, she just came back from California. She went there on a short trip, and she liked it. So I told her that I was thinking about going to Florida to move there. So she's like, let's go to what's it called? California instead of Florida. And because I was even though I wasn't there, California was familiar to me because of Tupac, because of movies. I mean, it's familiar. I mean, you see it more than you see other places, right? So I was like, hey, you know what? I was like, definitely. I was like, California is, yeah, I'm going there. She changed her mind, but I was already like had my mind set on it. So I was like, no, it's fine. It's like I was gonna go anyways by myself, so it's okay. So yeah, so in February I went to California, and then yeah, 2 years after, 2 years, almost 3 years in 2006, the end of 2006. Well, at the beginning of 2006, I met someone. We hooked up, and by the end of 2006, in October 27th, by the end of 2006, in October 27, my daughter was born. There's some water. So yeah, so I had I had had a lot of great experiences. Right. So I think in 2007, a few months after my daughter was born, I was applying for my citizenship. I was applying for work actually, and they needed to be you have to be a citizen. So otherwise, if I wasn't applying, I probably would still be with a green card. So yeah, so when I was doing my citizenship, homie asked me, the guy who was doing my citizenship, he asked me, hey, like, Peter, he was like, you wanna make any changes to your name? Well, because right now you can. While it's going on, you don't have to pay anything. The process is happening, so you might as well throw this in if you want to make any changes. So then I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's let me modify my first name from Petro to Peter, and let me add a middle name. And I was thinking which name I wanna give myself. So at that time, so I decided to give myself a name at my current location and at my current moment in life, kind of like. So yeah, so I kind of decided that because at that time I was living on West Coast, I was like, West sounds like a cool middle name. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me do West. It has a lot of my experiences throughout, even before coming to California when I used to live in New York. The process coming to that led me to that because I had to get out of New York because of my circles, because I wasn't able to say no. So all that kind of it's included in that name, not just because I was living on the West Coast. So all those processes, and of course the birth of my daughter. It's so I was thinking about making this video. I was unedited, so yeah, trying to kind of have my ways of talking kind of like just kind of neutrally, but sorry. Getting back on the tree. Okay, so yeah, so I had great. There's a lot of happened until that point, right? I mean, there's even more happened. Even more happened after. So yeah, so there was just yeah. So yeah, and my last name I just took out the letter T because. It was Popov Chuck, and it should be just Popov Chuck, so I took it out. So yeah, so that was the time when I lived so that happened when I lived in Los Angeles, California, and then okay, so that was that. So let me that was a little bit about my name, not a little bit. It lasted almost an hour. Sorry, like more than 30 minutes. That was a little background on my name. It's grammarly incorrect. Sorry. A little bit.